Thank you. I know a couple people in here have actually held the device and felt the energy, but I'm going to give you guys one out. Now these, when I say they're powerful magnetic forces, they're very, very powerful. So just be very careful you don't have your cell phone near it or get near the chair or anything you have this mentality. So, and then see how that feels. And then when you're done, you just pass it on. What actually the device basically is, it simply uses the electromagnetic sphere of Earth itself. And that electromagnetic energy is the energy that, of course, we're created here. We're vibrationally part of Gaia, part of the Earth. And all of our molecules are put together on a vibrational level. And as we grow and as we consume food, it's all based on vibration that come from the planet. And so this device takes that same vibrational frequency, which we're supposed to be, you know, more grounded, you know, going barefoot more often and, you know, being grounded with the earth, and that energy will come up and help balance and heal our body, physical and spiritual. We don't tend to do that so much nowadays. So this device is actually a tool that amplifies that energy exponentially. And then it allows our body and gives us that energy that we're missing. So and that our energy body can use this, our higher self, if you're aware of that concept as well, and take this energy that is coming through us, because normally, if we're standing, sitting, lying, whatever, we pull energy up. We're like a magnet ourselves. The northern negative poles at our feet, and then it comes out our head. So we have this like donut shape of energy that's coming around constantly. That's just who we are as a being. And so when you're holding on to a highly magnetic device, that just pulls more and more energy. And then that gives your body what it needs, whether it's physical healing or if it's your energy body, and your energy needs to like maybe balance your energy centers or your chakras, or, you know, repair or align with your other dimensional bodies as well. And so a lot of people have completely different reactions when they feel it, touch it, or use it. Excuse me. And in fact, I mean, I've been doing this for 6 or 7 months now, and I think I'm on every continent except Antarctica. So we're doing well in 6 months. So I'm very excited about that. And the reviews that are coming back are, I mean, well beyond my expectation. You know, I'll let you go on the website, you can read them, but people are feeling this is like a miraculous device, especially when you spend a little time with it. And what it'll do is it'll enter your body, it'll kind of amp it up and start flowing. And quite often you don't even feel what's happening right away. Sometimes you really will right away, like warmth or a tingling in certain areas of your body. But then as well, it'll continue doing that because it's like you've opened the floodgates, you know, and your body continues to flow. And so healing can take place for hours and days. I have a doctor using it on her patients for psychology. And these patients will go like out of depression for about a week, you know, and so she's absolutely loving this device because it's helping her patients feel better without drugs, you know, because the brain is getting that electromagnetic energy that it needs to balance itself, you know, because we're all electrical, you know, and this device actually came, like I said, it came through meditation. But the meditation was really a memory because I've used this in other lifetimes. And I actually have a contract with the government to do this, to allow me to provide this device, because they've had it since the 40s. But they just haven't let it out, you know, because when you can heal yourself, what's the point of, you know, a lot of medical doctors and medicine when, you know, your body's doing the job for you. You know, I'm not going to say that in a way to say you should never not use Western medicine, because it has its place. cancer surgery last year, so I had him remove it, you know, because that was an experience I chose to have. You know, one of the things I programmed in my lifetime in this incarnation. You know, so it has its purpose, you know, so I'm not gonna say anything negative about it, except for that it leaves out the primary factors in healing, and that is the universal energy and earth energy is really truly what our body uses. So I would stop right now for the moment and just ask if there's currently any questions or comments. Yes?
I was wondering, you said that this came from the Secret Space Program. So from the Secret Space Program, how are you affiliated with the Secret Space Program that this device came into your hands?
Well, that's clearly a huge subject.
Okay.
But I will definitely touch on it.
Okay.
And that's the concept that people are still truly trying to grasp.
Right.
You know, that we've been off planet for decades. It's just, we're not being told, general public. And those of us that have had that experience, are a device similar to this, which is one of the jobs I had was to erase memory. When a person runs their turn, their memory's erased, so that they don't remember that. And that's not the only part that happens. I've got to be really careful about what I say, but it's very easy when you understand certain technology. I often say, if you take a Roomba and you take it to ancient Rome and you let it run around a plaza, it's going to freak a lot of people out. We know it as a vacuum. You know, they see it as some very frightening thing that they've never seen and have no concept.
Any sufficiently advanced technology
Yes.
is indistinguishable from magic. Arthur C. Clarke.
That's absolutely correct. You know, and so this, when I say that they erase your memory, when they can't just drop you back 20 years later and you've been gone. So another technology that they have is physical body age regression and advancement. Basically, they can clone you very easily. And so that's what they do. They create clones that are the age where they took people from.
Is this somewhat affiliated with the med beds that you're talking about?
It has a very similar base technology. Yes, the med beds, the ones I'm familiar with,
Right.
they can do more on a physical level. They can take physical material. This device doesn't do that. And the reason, what makes it so gentle and what makes it so universal for all people is the fact that it simply is what it is. And it creates a field that you can choose to use or not. Your body can choose to use it or not. And as much as I love acupuncture and acupressure, it's invasive. You're forcing the body to make change. You know, and so you sometimes get resistance when your body's forced to do something that it maybe doesn't want to do. Whereas this device, it simply does very much what acupuncture does, in that it, you know, brings in an energy and can make connections between the meridians, but it doesn't force it to happen. It allows it to happen, and so then your body can more naturally and easily transmutate that energy into maybe healing tissue or just relieving pain, or, you know, moving that electrical impulse along your nervous system.
So how do you just move this thing around your body?
It's very intuitive because your body kind of knows what it needs or wants.
Hold it.
You can just hold it, and you see there's one side of it has a little red dot.
Yeah.
And we mentioned the vortex side. Well, that's where the vortex is coming toward you. So if you have the red dot toward you, the vortex is aiming in toward you.
Okay.
The other side is where the energy is being pulled through. So you can use it either way. If you have like a blockage and you want to pull that energy out of your system, you would have that vortex facing away from you.
Okay.
And then that'll help pull out, especially if you have some negative energy and you want to kind of get that pulled out first off, you know. And then you kind of, because you don't, again, you don't want to force the body to do anything it doesn't want to do. And so another good thing is if you understand, as I said, energy coming in our feet and our chakra system through our groin and out our head and shoulders, but it also comes in from the left to the right. Unless you're oppositely polarized, it does the opposite, but that's very few people. And so this energy flow, if you're holding it in your left hand, what you're doing is this device is sucking it like a vacuum, sucking energy and then going into your hand. And then your body can use what it wants. So it doesn't really matter where you hold it. Even if it's 2-3 feet away, you're still gonna have an effect from it because it's within your auric field, or your energy field, because energy field's about 9 feet out all around you. So all of us in here are interacting on an energy level. That's how we know if someone's staring at the back of our head. You can feel that, you know. So so that's what this does. It kind of helps pull and draw energy. Yes.
Does it work like to protect you from EMF, like electromagnetic frequencies, like bad ones? Does it work like that?
It's an excellent question, because this, on a technical level, is an electromagnetic field, but it's not false electromagnetic field. A false electromagnetic field would be generated electricity. You know, we would think, like lightning obviously is a natural electricity. You know, a generating station generates electricity for your home, which is not a natural electricity, and we would think it'd be completely natural and safe, which for the most part is usable and is, but it's a different vibration than natural energy. And so it's more in tune with the human energy field. And because it's more in tune and it amps your field up, your field can protect yourself from external forces, and that includes EMF that's an unnatural EMF field.
Do you have to have it like holding it to protect yourself, or can you just have it like in your room somewhere?
You can just have it somewhere near you and it'll be a benefit.
It'll still like protect like around your
Like my niece and a couple of other people I know have it next to their bed, you know, or sometimes she has it. And my niece is just on, she did a massive healing, which I won't necessarily have to tell you about, but she has a 2-year-old son that's autistic. And that kid won't put this thing down. And when he's holding it, it's like his mind comes to him. It's just, I should video it. It's just phenomenal. You know, it's like you've seen some autistic kids that sit down at a piano and they're just phenomenal. They can sing and play. Well, this thing actually helps them do that. Helps them come into their, because it helps the mind. You know, if you look at like an onion, we're different energy levels. You know, and you can call it energy bodies as well. And then when you align those bodies where they're, you know, like supposed to, so the energy can flow in and out without resistance, then that pure energy is applied directly to the human form. And so it affects the brain, it affects every aspect of who we are. You know, and so that is an energy that can be transmuted into anything that your body physically or emotionally, spiritually, or energetically need. You know, so it's like, that's what makes it so universal. But on that note as well, I mentioned those stones. I've included these with it because people that do any energy work, you just take a look at them, pass them on. Understand that each stone is of a certain color and crystalline structure, and its mineral deposits that is created and built from have different vibrational frequencies, and these frequencies correlate to different parts of the body. That's the chakra system, and that's why colors and vibration have different effects. Like, you know, one vibration would be maybe red, and there's a certain tone to it, because those are very related, you know, vibration. Whereas the universal energy that the device natively creates, or pardon me, natively focuses, can be changed slightly and more targeted. So if you have a problem with a certain part of your energy body, physical body system, say like the heart, or the heart chakra, or even that area of your body, or the related meridian points, then you would use a green. And the green is like green aventurine, and so that vibration is slightly adjusted. Now the stone itself doesn't do any work, but it's the crystalline structure allowing energy to flow through it. And the crystalline and mineral structure it's changed, not fully, but it changes as if you're going from a ohm to a hum sound. And so that change can be what affects the body and what portion of it and what you physically need at that time. So we have those stones available because of that. And so I had to actually learn about stones just so I could understand there is actually a scientific aspect to them. Because also working with the government, they use so many of those stones, so many of those crystals that they just don't speak of. Because if you, like when I'm drilling on these stones, some of them will glow, you know, and it's just beautiful because there's a light coming from the stone now, and because the energy of the drill going in is taken up by the stone, and so it's focusing that energy, and it's basically doing the same thing with your body. So, any other questions, real quick? Yes, sir.
What's your resume? How did you get in? Because you're implying the government's up to no, well, I would almost say no good, at least they're certainly not.
Now, I'm not saying they're up to no good. I'm not saying the government in general is not. There's just certain aspects of it that have programs that they haven't divulged, you know, because of their own interests. And actually, there are interplanetary interests that they're protecting.
I just wish that our government would serve us. We're the taxpayers, we pay them, but these people get, you know where I'm going.
No, I completely agree, and I hear what you're saying. It's a multi-faceted issue, you know.
No, what was your name again, Chris, what?
O'Connor.
And what's your resume? How'd you get, did you have an engineering degree or?
No, I've just invented things for my entire life. I've done everything from working with museums and development for projects with museums and with feature films, you know, and so I've always been a design and building individual, you know, so, and then through my process of meditation and understanding and memory recall, then this device I was reminded of what it was, you know, and then so I instantly remembered everything about it and how to build it. You know. So it's a difficult question to truly answer because without going into a lot of detail that, you know, that I wouldn't get in trouble for saying. Yes, sir.
Do you know of any institute, let's say, that is running tests, experiments on applications of this device?
On this exact device, there is an organization that works with, I think about 65 separate scientific interests, some from NASA, some from JPL, and some much smaller organizations as well. They've had it for about 4 months now. You know, it takes them forever to do anything, so it's gonna be working.
Will we be able to follow their work and their observations?
Oh, I can't answer that because I just turn it over and they do their thing, you know. I'm sure at some point, you know, as soon as the information's available to me, I'm gonna, you know, share it as well.
So you'll share with us?
As soon as I get it, I'd love to share it with everybody. That's my goal, that's why I'm doing this. So yes, you know, so hopefully they'll be honest about it. And I think they will because it's time that comes out. And there's so many people now that are all just demanding information. You know, that it's just inevitable. So hopefully sooner than later, but yeah. So does anybody want to make any kind of comment about holding it? Did you feel anything specific or any kind of effect? Because you could feel like maybe a warmth in some certain parts of your body or
yeah, it got warm when I moved it, so I could tell it was doing something. Like,
yeah,
I could feel it.
And where would you feel that one?
Just as I moved it over like ankles and knees and.
In the area that you
Yeah,
feel it.
yeah, where I moved it to, I could feel it. Yeah.
That's good. I mean, that clearly you are sensitive to that type of energy because of your nervous system is probably flowing fairly well to feel the warmth.
Yeah, I'm starting my own energy practice. I do some work with colors and the rainbow, and the thing before you was all her colored energy, so I was drawn to that. Yeah, I'm pretty sensitive to most of this stuff, so I could feel it.
Oh, cool, thank you for the input. Yes, sir?
I found, I'm in the process of healing my teeth. And then, of course, your teeth, the nerve endings in your teeth also end in, one end is in your teeth or gums, and the other end of the nerve is somewhere else in your body, brain, other vital organs. And as I held this, then I could feel the magnetic field in my teeth that are a certain advanced stage of healing. And I could feel the connections in my brain seem to be speeding up, like a global awareness of how all the nerve endings are radiating throughout my body.
That does actually make sense to me. Because when you kind of get your energy centers, your chakras balanced and in line, you're gonna feel that in your crown chakra, because that's where the energy flows back out again. You know, and so you're gonna feel that exiting. There's an inward flow, but that's a whole different thing. But that makes sense to me that would run through the synopsis of your mind, and your brain, you know, help. Because it's electrical impulse in the brain, you know. Our brain is just a web of neurons that are interconnected, you know. So it makes sense. Anybody else? You're all, I mean, this, with whatever time we have, I mean, you're absolutely welcome to keep, you know, using it, just kind of feeling it out and understanding a little bit better maybe on how our energy bodies work. Because, you know, my goal really is for people to understand that they can heal themselves. You know, that we have the power, we don't always have the ability, and this kind of helps bridge that gap. Yeah. So I'm here for any kind of assistance to you guys. Yes, sir?
So who do you channel, and if you do channel anybody for information, or?
Well, I don't I do channel, yes, but it's through meditation. I've had a lot of visits in those times, but the specific group that speaks to me more often than not is the RAW complex, social memory complex. They're also known as the avian race. And most often it's RAW.
And how far, where are they at, or are they here on the planet, or are they?
Well, RAW's been around for about 10,800 years.
Oh, okay.
On Earth, been interacting with Earth for that long. The Egyptian reference to Ra, the god, is mistaken. It's the collective of Ra, which is 6.5 million people.
Wow.
And those 6.5 million people, a good majority of them are all incarnate on Earth right now, you know, helping with this new movement, the enlightenment phase of humanity. Because when Ra was here originally, there was a lot of misunderstandings, you know, because they were trying to say, you know, listen, we're all one, we may look different, but we're all part of the Creator, we're all part of the one, and this journey is we're all trying to get back, so let's work together kind of thing. But because they looked so different, you know, they clearly weren't a human being, then the Egyptians began to worship them. And once they began to worship them as a god, that kind of led all the way down to today, you know, in the separation of a multi-theistic type of system. And in that multi-theistic type of system, then what happened was there was a lot of misunderstandings and lies, and a lot of negative forces came in and enhanced those lies. You know, and when I say negative forces, there are alien races. Some are very positive, some are negative, some are positive, trying to help humanity evolve. And others are trying to take advantage of the evolutionary process right now. Because all planets have an intelligent, that have an intelligent life all that intelligent life evolves. You know, they all begin to understand that they are what is the universe. They are made of it, they are part of it. We're all getting back to it. And once they have an enlightenment as a race, they're no longer susceptible to negativity. So that's why right now on Earth, it's so intense. Because there's fewer negative entities, because as they die off, the planet is already fourth density. It is already the new Earth. It started in the 80s. It's just that we're holding it back. Because this beautiful, amazing planet, this fourth density, is being held back by all of the creatures living on it that are not very advanced spiritually. You know, so because of that, the planet's been kind of in turmoil, needless to say. And then, so these negative entities can come in, because what the negative races want, like most of the Greys, and we hear the reptilians and stuff, because once an entity, a person dies, if you die in the phase of negativity, and they have control over you in some form or fashion, it's all about controlling of energy. Once you die, if you're negative, then they can basically take your energy and enslave you for a very, very long time. That's what our religions refer to as hell. You know, because we're no longer our individual person, we're now controlled. And we have to go through that journey to get back to positivity. And so we don't want that. You know, who wants to die and be enslaved? So, so once a race, as humanity right now, once this race gets to a certain point and then is becoming becomes enlightened, then none of that's possible by negative entities any longer. And they go their way and Earth will continue positive. So as people die on Earth right now, because of the higher vibration of Earth, and the literal photon is vibrating more high, at a higher rate than it ever has. They've scientifically measured this fact. So a negative entity can't incarnate back on Earth again. They have to go somewhere else. So as bad as things sound, and as people die off, just kind of know if they're being born right now, they're positive. And that more that happens, it moves humanity further on. You know, and it's just, so it takes a while for everybody to kind of die off. The most positive person right now is going to die as well. But if you want to come back to Earth positive, you still can. It's just, we're still not in that place where we'll live a few hundred years versus, 100 if we're lucky. You know, so that's what's happening. So at least we can hold on to our hope, knowing that through all of what's going on right now, that it's simply the phase of humanity trying to catch up with the planet evolving in a greater way. You know, and so this device, I don't make it sound like I transitioned that into a sales pitch, but the vibration of this device is using the fourth density vibration. And so that's where a lot of more protection comes in, and that's where more healing comes in, and that's where all of these aspects that we've been working for so long on our planet, that our religions are speaking of, that we want to attain a state of heaven or nirvana or bliss. As time goes on, it's going to be easier and easier to do, because the planet, it just no longer supports the rebirth of negativity. Which to me is that's like the best news you could hear. It's like, talk about hope, and that gives me a tremendous hope. And so this is why this device is so important, because it literally uses the higher photonic vibration that's already existing, that the planet is emitting right now. So that's a good thing. Any more questions, comments?
How
Yes,
much
ma'am?
would it cost at the cost?
How do we keep in contact with you?
Well, that's easy. I have a bunch of business cards. That's real easy. And I just want you guys to know, it's not entirely about, about sales. It truly is. It's really about helping humanity at all. That's what this company is all about. That's what I'm all about. So, I guess, I think it's time, right? Is that? Oh, we're close now.
Yeah.
So, I do have cards. If you want one, just ask and I'll give you one. But thank you guys so much for staying. The ones that didn't come here for me. And you're always welcome to email me. There's my phone number. It's a messaging phone number. And ask questions that aren't even related to this. I do healing and help people as much as I can as well. So, I'm here to be of service.
So how did you purchase this one? How much